Hey everyone, my name is David Vidal. Welcome to my personal channel, Socials Awkward, where you can expect content at least as good as Australian Olympic level breakdancing. This video is about extra fuel capacity on your Campagna Trex. Let's go! All right, first let's talk about what's happening in the dashboard. You've got a bunch of different gauges here to help you determine what you're doing for fuel economy. First, you've got your average MPGs. This will tell you if you're ramping it too hard or if not. You've got a range indicator, you've got an odometer and trip meter, and of course the fuel indicator, all of which are Garbo. And that is not a slight against Trex. I love these machines. It just seems to be in the motorcycle world, we just can't get our gauges to work properly. That is across the board on every single bike I have ever owned, including the Trex. Maybe you've got a motorcycle that works really, really well with its gauges. If so, I would love to hear about it. So the only thing I've actually found to be accurate in this gauge is when the fuel icon begins to blink. That definitely means that you're out of fuel. I have no real way of telling what my average miles per gallon are, other than I understand how many gallons I put into the tank and how often I need to fill up. So regardless of my average miles per gallon or whatever it says my average is, I always get the same amount of miles out of my tank. My range indicator is always incorrect. On a full tank, I can get over 200 miles. It pegs me out at about 150 miles. It always starts me at like 150. So knocks out like 50 miles right off the bat. The fuel indicator is even worse over here on the side. I will be all the way down on those fuel cells at like 105 miles. And I know I've got at least 100 more miles to put on my Trex before I need more fuel. Again, when that icon blinks, when that gas icon blinks at the bottom, you are out of fuel. You've got to get to a gas station as quickly as you can. That one has been dead on accurate. So I suggest that you use your trip meter. This is an old trick that we always use in the bike world. We never even, well, before fuel gauges were even a thing, that's exactly how you would determine when you needed to fill up, especially when you are on a long trip. So basically what you need to do is fill up your gas tank and drive it to empty after you have set your trip meter, either A or B, to 0. You just drive that thing until it runs out of gas, and then you know exactly how many miles, or approximately how many miles you can get out of a full tank. Then when you fill your tank to full, you always reset either trip A or trip B, whichever one that you choose to use, and that then becomes your gas gauge. That will tell you exactly when you need to fill up or when you need to get to the gas station. So the real question is, what do I do when I'm testing this out? Because I'm going to have to basically run my machine to empty at some point to figure out how many miles I can get out of it. Well, it's important to carry more fuel, and that's exactly what this video is about, how you can carry more fuel and what kind of options you have. So obviously there's like that red can option. You can get some 1-gallon cans or 2-gallon cans. These things will fit in your Givey bag. You can get some that fit in your Givey. There's a couple problems with this, however. I don't feel like this is a perfect solution. First of all, I don't want to carry fuel in my Givey bag. Maybe you want to, that's fine. But that, first of all, is like a big no for me. But second, the EPA is all over this thing, and if you've ever tried to use a fuel can that the government has had its hands on, it's very, very difficult. They make things super, super disastrous. If this is any indication on what happens when our government gets involved in even the most simple things, fuel cans. I don't know what the deal is, but you can also get fuel bladders, and there's all kinds of different bladder options that you can get. You can just look online. You can get them all different sizes and shapes and all that thing, whatever you like. Also, you can put that fuel bladder in the Givey as well, and that's a little more attractive because it doesn't take up as much space. However, you'll probably end up spilling some fuel, and even if you don't spill any fuel, they kind of have a smell to them. They give off a little some gas fumes. So whatever else you have in your Givey bag is going to smell like that. So if you're the person that just carries like tools and rescue kits and that kind of stuff in your Givey bag, then it's probably not going to bother you. If you're like me and you carry like your carry-on items and you're going on big trips and you've got clothes and souvenirs and all kinds of different things in there, you don't necessarily want that smelling like fuel. So that's not really an option for me. So what I do, I have elected to use a fuel bladder, but I found this one online called the Armadillo bag, and I absolutely love this fuel bag, but it is not without its little hangups. So before you jump onto Amazon and buy one, hear me out, because it might not be perfect for you. First and foremost, I'm not suggesting that you get one of these and put fuel in it. Okay, that's what I did, but I'm not suggesting that's what you do. And the reason I'm not suggesting that's what you do is because these fuel bags, the reason that they're so awesome is they're not actually rated for fuel, because this company did not want to get the government involved in this bag and complicate it and make it terrible. And it's easy to pour, comes with this pour spout. It's not super easy to fill, honestly, because it's like a noodle. And so when you put fuel in this, you invariably will spill onto this canvas, which I actually love the canvas, but the canvas will absorb the fuel and then it smells like fuel. So if you want to put it in your Givey bag, then everything in there is going to smell like fuel. What I like to do is strap that Armadillo bag onto my Trex, and then I don't have to worry about giving up any space. If you've watched a previous video, you know that sometimes I travel with a big 51-liter duffel bag. It doesn't get in the way of that. Matter of fact, you can strap it on or below that if you needed to. I can show you how to strap that in a different video, but I'll show you where I put mine. I have a 1-gallon bag. They come in several different sizes. In hindsight, I would have gotten one that was a little bit bigger. I don't want the biggest one because I don't need to carry that much fuel. And to be honest, I've never really had to dip into my Armadillo bag. On all the trips that I've taken so far, I've never been so far out of touch or out of range from a gas station that I wasn't able to fuel up. So, but having it on board is a huge peace of mind, and it allows me to go to places that I wouldn't normally go because I'm confident that I won't be stuck there. So very simple. I just strap it on top of the engine cover. It fits really nicely in here. I'm going to order the next size up of this Armadillo bag. And you might be wondering, well, why would I want more fuel? I just told you that I don't use the fuel that I already bring. To be honest, I find more people to help than I actually need the help myself. So it's nice to have a little extra fuel. You can help somebody else on the road who might be stranded or not have enough fuel in their motorcycle or car. So that's a pretty cool option to be able to help somebody else. So here's how I strap it down. I just put it right on top of the engine cover. And I know what you're thinking. I'm going to scratch up this engine cover and I'm going to scratch up my Trex. And I promise you, I was just as worried about that as you are. And that is exactly why I have a DuraShield clear bra on my Trex. I put DuraShield wherever it is that I was going to be putting my hands or grabbing on or strapping things to, so I wouldn't have to worry about the paint. I will do a breakout video on the clear bra and how I've applied it to my Trex in another video. If I wouldn't suggest using a pad or a towel or anything like that, simply because if it becomes dislodged and it drops down into any of the moving parts, like your chain or your sprockets or your wheel, just causes all kinds of trouble. So that's also true when it comes to strapping. So you can see that I strap mine over the top of the Armadillo bag, and then I just tuck it in on the frame that's covered by this fairing. I just wrap it through, and I just do a simple X strap right here and strap it through the whole bag. Then when you're done, you want to tie that thing off and then roll up the excess. I know that several of you guys probably know cool little knots or little tricks that you can use for excess. I used to just cut these straps because, you know, they're cheap and easy to come by, but that has done me dirty. Sometimes I've needed to strap something else and I've not had enough strap. So I've just gotten in the habit of leaving the tail. So what I do is roll it up, tuck it in, and then I use a zip tie to tie that thing off. So You'll need a tool either in your pocket or if you carry one in your Trex, which I always do, to cut that zip tie in the event that you need to access your fuel. And then you'll need a couple of other zip ties, which you should also carry. Here it is, looks good, it's tight and right, everything's down, it doesn't move one little bit. If you strap it down nice, you don't go crazy. There's some wires that run between the fairing and your frame, so don't go crazy about strapping that thing down super tight. Just make it, reasonably tight, tie off your slack, and this thing won't move at all. There is one downside. If you tie off your armadillo bag right here, or any other bag, as a matter of fact, it will block or impede on one of those sweet spots for your rear view. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna put one right here. If you've made it this far in the video, just want to thank you for watching. Want to shout out my friend Duren Burnside of Trex site in Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure you get in touch with him if you have a Trex, or you want a Trex, or you have any needs. He's got all the goods. And I want to shout out my friend Daniel Johnson 174 in New Jersey, who always has something positive to say about these videos. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to ride with you. As for everybody else, I hope to see you on the road. All right, ride safely.